Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you are listening to Let's Talk with Lady Blend, and I am Lady Blend, and you are listening to Intermix Radio. The topic for today is tips for caretakers, taking care of yourself. So I like to tell you where I get my information from because I do my research. So the information today is coming from the National Institute of Health, NIH, National Institute of Aging. NIH is actually a part of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and it is our nation's medical research agency. Taking care of yourself is one of the most important things you can do as a caretaker. Now, we all know that caretaking is not easy, neither for the caretaker or the person being taken care of. It requires sacrifice and adjustments for everyone. Often, family caretakers must juggle work and family life to make time for these new responsibilities. Now, caring for others is rewarding, but it can provide a strain even on the most resilient person. That's why it's so important for caretakers to take care of themselves. Now, the format for today is I will discuss ways to prioritize your own well-being so that you are able to take care of others. Now, the order of discussion will follow. Knowing your limits, knowing what to do when you feel overwhelmed, knowing when you need help, and asking others for help. And then I will provide information on how to support the primary caregiver and share responsibilities. Now, as I stated, of course, caretaker responsibilities is a challenge and can be a challenge. You may run into a person, it could be a person who is just, and they just need care for a limited amount of time. Or it could be a person who needs care indefinitely. So either one of those situations still requires that the caretaker takes care of themselves. Now we're going to jump in with the first one, knowing your limits. Of course, knowing your limits means knowing how much you can take, what you can take, and what you're willing to take. This is one of the things that should be done, if at all possible, before you take on those caretaker responsibilities. And I know that sometimes you're not able to do that, you're not able to plan. Sometimes sickness comes, sometimes that requirement comes, and you don't have an opportunity to plan for anything. But even after you take care, even after you take on those caretaking responsibilities, you should still know your limits. There are a few questions that you should ask yourself. 1, how will taking on the role of a caretaker affect my work and family life? And so many times what you have situations where something comes on sudden and you have to make a decision. You may know it's coming, but you may not have actually thought about it or planned for it. But at any rate, you have your own responsibilities, you have your own routines, you may have your own families to take care of and your own responsibilities. And so adding on the responsibility of being a caretaker also adds on that extra challenge that you have to face. So you have to know and you have to consider, how is this going to affect what I'm already responsible for? How is it going to affect that? So that's a question that you should ask yourself. In the event that you're not living in the same house with the person, you may want to also consider, how am I going to get back and forth to where I am taking care of that person from my home? Or you may be leaving from your job. to take care of that person. So those are also things to consider. Now we know, I can only speak about Atlanta, so we know Atlanta traffic can be a bear. So getting from point A to point B can be a challenge. So that is something else that you would have to think about in terms of being a caretaker if the person that you're caring for does not live with you. Another thing that you have to also consider is how will you manage it mentally and financially? Because again, traveling to a location, leaving a job, or even leaving your home to get to that location can also be a challenge mentally and financially. We should not forget about the financial part of that. You also want to ask yourself the question, am I emotionally prepared to take on the responsibility of being a caretaker? And you do have to be in an emotional space to be able to do that. And like I said, I know that a lot of times caretakers are not afforded the opportunity to actually plan, to actually think. Sometimes it comes on quickly and a decision has to be made. And many times it's maybe you're the person who is the most likely person that's able to actually take on the caretaker responsibility. But again, there is an emotional component with that, and you have to be prepared for that emotional responsibility that comes along with it. And another part of that, another question, an aspect that you should also consider is, are you willing to seek advice? Are you willing to take training so you are better and more equipped to handle the caretaker responsibilities? So when I say seek advice, a lot of times we try to reinvent the wheel. You're not the first person, and I'm pretty sure that you won't be the last person to take on caretaker responsibility. So someone has already done it. So there are resources, there are state resources, there are local resources, there are groups that have already done that. And so if you consult those resources, you can find out some things, maybe some things that you can expect, maybe some things that you never even thought about, and in terms of training. So when I say training, I mean sometimes if you have a situation where the person you're taking care of is not ambulatory, they can't move about by themselves, you may have to learn how to lift a person, learn how to help a person so that you don't injure yourself in the process. So taking that advice or seeking out that advice and seeking out that training to make sure that you have what you need to be equipped to take care of the person that you are responsible for is also important. Now I want to make sure that I give you the phone number. The phone number for you to call in or text in your comments is 305-898-0271. The last point that I want to make about this is a note, and I'm going to have notes for each section. So this section on knowing your limits, my note for this section is caretakers. You must be realistic about how much you can do and how much you are willing to do. I'm going to say that again. You must be realistic about how much you can do and how much you are willing to do. And that is all a huge part of knowing your limits. Now we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about knowing what to do when you feel overwhelmed. Welcome back. Again, you are listening to Let's Talk with Lady Blend on Intermix Radio, and our topic for today is tips for caregivers, taking care of yourself. And before the break, we talked about knowing your limits. And again, I left you a note at the end of that, which I will leave you for each segment that I talk about. And that note was, You must be realistic about what and how much you can do and how much you are willing to do. So let's move on to the next part. Knowing what to do when you feel overwhelmed. Now, because you are taking care of someone else, sometimes you allow your own needs, you neglect your own needs, and you allow yourself to kind of be on the back burner. So that's not something that we want to do. We want to try to make sure that if we are feeling overwhelmed, that we are able and capable and we do something about it. So it's not just enough to begin to feel overwhelmed. You need to do something about feeling overwhelmed. And you need to make sure that you are taking care of your needs. There are some suggestions of some things that you can do when you feel that you are overwhelmed. And we want you to do these things before you get to the overwhelmedness. Now, I don't know if that's a word, but I just made it up. You heard it here first. Before you get to the point of overwhelmedness. So I'm going to provide you with some suggestions of what you can do. Now, the first suggestion is be active. Be active. Find something that you enjoy doing. That could be dancing, that could be walking, it could be gardening, it could be anything. And find that thing and do that thing. Be active. Okay, and one of the other things too is exercise. We know that exercise, and we've heard that, and we've heard studies, and we've heard many people say that exercise is a stress reliever. And no, you don't have to go to the gym for 4 hours. You can walk for 10 minutes. You can do something for 30 minutes. But exercise definitely helps with stress, and it can help you when you're feeling overwhelmed. Eat well. Say it one more time. Eat well. Eat a balanced meal. Eat a balanced meal because you need to fuel your body. Take care of your body so that your body will take care of you. All right, so we're going to take another break. I'll be right back and give you a couple of more tips for what to do when you are starting to feel overwhelmed.
You're now tuned in to Let's Talk with Lady Bland on Intermix Radio.
And we are back. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for tuning in. I want to give you that number where you can call in or text in your comment. That number is 305-898-0271. So right before the break, I gave you some suggestions of things that you can do when you begin as a caretaker to feel overwhelmed. One that I gave you, one suggestion was being active. So whatever that is for you, to just be active. The other suggestion is to eat well. Eat well and stay hydrated. Another tip for you is to prioritize sleep. Now, I know that that's easier said than done, especially when you are the caretaker and responsible for another person. However, you must prioritize sleep so that your body can rejuvenate, so that you can renew yourself. When you are tired and you don't get the amount of sleep that you need, your body will let you know. You'll start feeling sluggish, you'll be tired, and you won't be your best self. So we want you to be at your best while you're taking on these additional responsibilities to be your best self. So get the right amount of sleep. Another thing, we want to try to do things as much as possible to reduce the stress that we are feeling. Some things that you can do is relaxation techniques. Now, a lot of times people say that, all this mindfulness stuff and all this meditation, it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work if you don't work it. If you want to learn how to meditate, if you want to learn how to be more mindful, then there are certainly things that you can do. There are certainly things that you can do to do that. We have a caller. Just a moment. Hello, caller. What is your comment? Are you there, caller? If you are talking, we cannot hear you on the radio. Okay. Again, another thing that you want to do, like I said, is to reduce your stress. Learn how to meditate. Learn how to be mindful. You may want to take Tai Chi. That's not for everyone. You may want to do yoga. That's not for everyone. Or maybe you want to listen to some relaxing music. So whatever that is, learn how to do that so that you can reduce your stress. And another thing I wanted to add here about all of these things is that in order to be able to effectively do them, you have to be organized. So let's just think about it. If you're on a job and you already have duties that you are supposed to perform, if you're not completely organized to the point of efficiency, then if someone or your supervisor comes along and adds some additional duties to you, then that is an additional opportunity to add stress to what you're doing. So organization is very important. You have to be organized, especially when you're taking on additional duties, caretakers. You have to be organized. You have to be organized. Another thing is schedule time for yourself. And I know that may seem impossible in certain situations, but schedule some time for yourself. And that goes back to being organized so that you are able to carve out some time for yourself. You need some me time. Do something again that you enjoy, such as a hobby. You know, some people like to knit, some people like to crochet, some people like to do crossword puzzles, some people like to do fine word, but something that is just for you, that does not involve the person that you are taking care of. So carving out some time for yourself is very important. Sometimes it's just as simple as watching your favorite television program. You might want to binge watch or something if you have the opportunity to do that. But make sure that you carve out some time for yourself. And this is a big one. Keep up with your own health. I'm going to say that one more time. Keep up with your own health. Keeping up with your own health involves you keeping your appointments, making those appointments, taking your medication as prescribed, taking a break when you need it, and more importantly, being kind to yourself. And it is important for you to be kind to yourself. So I'm going to say that one more time because that is just so important. Everything that I've mentioned is important. Keeping up with your own health, because if you keep up with your health, then you are better able to take care of the person who you have taken on that responsibility to take care of. So caretakers, please and thank you, keep up with your own health. Now my note for this one is, remember, you are doing your best, and give yourself credit for everything that you're doing, because your caretaking makes a huge difference in someone else's life. You don't have to wait until someone tells you you're doing a good job. You don't have to wait until someone tells you that you are making a difference in someone else's life. That may not come from someone else, but you need to know within yourself that what you're doing is making a difference. And you need to make sure that you give yourself credit for everything that you are doing, because you are making a difference in a person's lives who you are taking care of. All right, we're going to take another break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about knowing when you need help. Knowing when you need help. We'll be right back.
You're now tuned in to Let's Talk with Lady Bland on Intermix Radio.
Welcome back, and I want to thank you once again for listening and for tuning in. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, or you think they should hear this, tell them, tap in, tune in, tell somebody to tell somebody what we're talking about today. I also want you to know that you can listen to this and all the other podcasts. You can view them off of YouTube, our YouTube channel, Intermix Radio YouTube channel. All of them are posted on there, and they are also posted on our website, intermixradio.com. And the number again is 305-898-0271. You can call in your comment or you can text in your comment. I'd love to hear from you. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is knowing when you need help. And that may sound, okay, certainly you know when you need help. That may be easier said than done. But if you are constantly moving, constantly doing things, constantly taking care of the person that you are taking care of, constantly taking care of your responsibilities, you may feel at some point, once again, that you're feeling overwhelmed and you just don't have time to ask for help or time to even consider that you need help. But I want to give you some tips and some things to watch out for when you need help. One of the things that you should watch out for to know when you need help is when you are feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, and anxious. Now, exhaustion. We know what exhaustion feels like. If you feel that if I do one more thing, I am going to fall flat on my face, that's just it. I can't take on anything else. You are overwhelmed, and sometimes that overwhelmedness just causes emotions to come out that you didn't intend to come out, and you just don't know what to do. Or feeling anxious, like I have to get this done, I have to get that done, or nothing. You may feel that nothing is going right. So when you are having those feelings, you are feeling exhausted, if you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious, caretakers, that may be a sign that you need help. Another sign could be when you're easily angered or impatient. Some things that may happen or have happened before, it may not have fazed you, but now when that same thing happens, you just fly off the handle. It just gets you to the point where you just can't take it and you just take out that anger. Or you're just impatient. You don't want to wait for anything. You ask for something, you want it now, you want it now. And so that could be a sign as well that you need help, that you need some help. Feelings of loneliness or disconnected from others. Sometimes you may feel that no one understands what you're going through. No one understands what you're having to do. No one understands how hard or how challenging it can be to be a caretaker. And you may be in a position where you don't want to share that with anyone. You don't want to share it. And so you take all that on and you take all that in and you internalize it, and it becomes too much. And you find yourself disconnecting from people that you would normally talk to, or you find yourself just isolating. And we never want to isolate. We don't want to isolate. We want to make sure that we have someone that we can share what we're going through with, someone who can empathize with us about what we're going through at that moment. But that may be also a sign that you need help. And knowing when you need help is very important. You may start to have trouble sleeping or not get enough sleep. If you're having trouble sleeping, it could be something else. It doesn't have to be that, but it could also mean that you need some help because things are running through your mind 100 miles an hour, and you're thinking about everything that you have to do, everything that's coming, everything that you have to do for the person you're taking care of, and everything you have to do for yourself personally. And so it may cause you to be restless and not be able to sleep or not get enough sleep. That could be a sign that you need some help. Sad or hopeless, losing interest in things that you used to enjoy, that could be a sign that you are feeling as though you need some help because you are overwhelmed with what you're doing. You may get frequent headaches, it could be pain, or you could start having physical problems because we also know that everything that we do has a psychological basis. We know that. Everything we do has some type of psychological basis. So when we start thinking about things, when we start stressing over things, when we start feeling overwhelmed, those things can manifest themselves into physical things that are going to happen into our bodies. So we need to make sure that we are paying attention to our bodies and paying attention to what is happening. You maybe begin to misuse drugs, and not just illegal drugs. We're talking about misusing medication, prescribed medication, because that could also, if I take one, maybe it'll make me feel okay. If I take two, I might feel better. But that is a misuse of medication. So we want to make sure that if you feel yourself moving towards something like that, or you make sure that you get help. It may be a sign that you need some help. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want you to look at needing help or signs for needing help as a sign for weakness, because it's not a sign of weakness. It's just a sign that you are overwhelmed at the time and you need some relief, and you just need relief. Now my note for this one, my note is, don't wait until you reach the point of no return. Don't wait until you reach the point of no return. When you start having those feelings, when those things start happening, when you start feeling exhausted and overwhelmed and anxious, when you start getting angry or impatient about things that otherwise didn't really faze you, when you start feeling lonely or you start feeling disconnected from others, sad, hopeless, losing interest in things, when things start happening physically to your body that seemingly has no reason to be hurting or you to be having any pain, don't wait until you reach the point of no return. Pay attention to your body and the warning signs of exhaustion, and take the necessary steps to minimize your stress and to get help. Now, the next part is asking for help. We're going to take a little break and we're going to come back and talk about asking for help.
You're now tuned in to Let's Talk with Lady Bland on Intermix Radio.
Hello, and we're back. I want to thank everyone for listening, for tuning in. And again, tap in, tune in, tell someone to tell someone. If you think it can be helpful for someone to hear this topic, please tell them to tune in and listen. Again, you can also get a video. It will be out there on YouTube in probably about a week or a week and a half. Also, you can now get the free app for your Android or your Apple phone. It is Intermix Radio. The segment that we're going to talk about is asking for help. And I know that sometimes caregivers are reluctant to ask for help when they need help because it could be a situation where, like I said before, that this is something that came up suddenly. No one really had time to plan for it. Someone needs, and that someone is you. And so maybe you don't want to ask for help because you want everyone to believe that you can handle it. I can handle it. If I ask for help, they may look at me like I'm weak and maybe I couldn't handle it. So, but I want to assure you, caretakers, that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Actually, asking for help is a sign of courage and a sign that you want to make sure that you are taking care of yourself, that you are taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that physically, that you are taking care of yourself. And that's what we are talking about today. Tips for caretakers, taking care of yourself. So asking for help is a sign that you are taking care of yourself. So please do not look at asking for help as a sign of weakness or somehow you failed because you did not. Remember, you have to give yourself a break. You have to tell yourself that you are doing the best that you can. You have to give yourself credit for everything that you're doing. So asking for help sometimes isn't easy. Admitting that you can't do it all by yourself may be difficult, especially if you feel that asking for help is a sign of weakness or that you are being burdensome to someone else. Of course, you ask me, do I have tips? Of course I have tips of some things that you can do asking for help. You know, in this world of technology, you can send a text or you can send an email or whatever it is that you feel comfortable, but ask for the help that you need. You can ask for small things. It could be maybe you need assistance with taking the person to the doctor. Maybe you need assistance with sectioning out their medication. Maybe you need assistance with food prep or something like that. But whatever that is, ask for it. It may seem like a small thing to you, or it may seem like a small thing to the person who you are asking that from, but it's a huge thing because every little bit helps if it takes something off of you if you're at the point that you need help. Another thing that you can do is create a list of things that you need done, and you can allow those persons to choose what they want to do. All right, we have a caller. Hello. Hello, caller. What is your comment?
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, Marcella! Tanisha, can you hear me?
I can, Tanisha. How are you?
I am doing well. I just wanted to make sure I let you know that this has been really good, and also to say that I'm not a caregiver, but this is very good. And what did you say earlier? In feeling overwhelmingness, I think is what you said.
Yes, that's the word I made up. We're gonna use that. Feeling overwhelmingness. Yes.
I love it. I love it. Great tips, great suggestions for feeling overwhelmed. And I would definitely, when the YouTube drops, I would definitely share this with a few of my friends who I know are caretakers and just who needs to hear this. So this is very good. I definitely wanted to shout you out before I went into church and let you know that I'm so proud. And thank you for sharing this. I will definitely be replaying this on YouTube and sharing it with others and making sure that I manage this overwhelmingness.
Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it, Tanisha.
Yes, ma'am. Can't wait to talk to you soon.
All right.
See you later.
Okay. Thank you. And yes, as you heard the caller, she's planning to share that with some other people, and that's what I would like for you to do because this is a very important topic, and a lot of times caretaking can be a thankless thing. It can be a thank you. You don't get a lot of thank yous. You don't get a lot of I appreciate what you're doing from the person that you're taking care of or from that circle maybe that person is a part of. It could be parents, it could be your siblings, it could be anyone. And sometimes people are so accustomed of you doing things and taking care of things that they don't even think about saying thank you. It's an awesome thing that you're doing. Thank you so much. But we want to make sure that we do thank the people. We do thank the caretakers because they're doing something for someone else that they don't have to do. Another thing we can do is, again, I was talking about creating a list. And in creating that list, I want you to be prepared that some people will say no. Some people will say no, and it may be that person that says no that you really thought that you could count on, and they say no. Now that can be an emotional blow. That could just kind of hit you like, I can't believe they told me no. But you have to be prepared if someone says no, and try not to take it personally. When you ask people for help, you have to be honest about what you need. And guess what? When people ask you, can they help you or what do you need? Be honest. Tell them. Don't say, sometimes we want to say, oh, I'm good. Don't worry about it. I got it. I can take care of it. No, if you need help, you need to say you need help when you need help and tell people what you need, especially when they ask you what it is that you need for them to do. Another suggestion I have here is seek professional help if you need it. If you need professional help, please do seek that professional help that you need. That could be coming from your doctor. Maybe you tell your doctor, hey, I have recently come into the responsibilities of being a primary caregiver. At times it's getting to be a bit overwhelming, and I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to handle this. You need to be honest with your doctor and let your doctor know what's going on. You may want to consult a counselor or a mental health professional. It is nothing wrong with that because, again, everything that we do has a psychological basis. So how you're thinking and how you're feeling, you need to let someone know, and they can help you to manage what you're feeling, how you're feeling, what that thing is that's overwhelming you. They can help you to try to manage that. You can also seek assistance from support groups and other resources in your community. Seek the resources that are available to you. Take advantage of those resources. Your local senior center, your state office on aging, or social services or resources. And let's not forget about our faith community. We can seek help from our faith community as well. So if you need help, seek out the help that you need. My note for this one is, don't wait to seek assistance when you absolutely positively need it. Don't wait. If you are having those feelings that you need help, don't wait until you get to the point, again, like I said before with the other thing of being overwhelmed, till you get to the point of no return. If you start to realize some of those things are happening, ask for help. Do not be ashamed. Do not think that it's about weakness. Do not think that you're being burdensome. And once again, be prepared, because some people are going to say no, and sometimes those no's are going to come from people who you would probably think would be willing to help you, but they said no. When people ask you, can they help you, be honest about what you need. Don't be ashamed. If you need someone to cook a meal for you, or cook a meal for the person you're taking care of, ask. If they can't cook a meal, maybe they can pick up a meal. Maybe they can sit with the person when they go to the doctor. Maybe they can take them to the doctor. If that is what you need, ask for what you need. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about how to support that primary caregiver. How to support that primary caregiver. We'll be back.
You're now tuned in to Let's Talk with Lady Blen on Intermix Radio.
Hello, and welcome back. Again, today we are talking about tips for caregivers taking care of yourself. And you're listening to Let's Talk with Lady Blen. And of course, I am Lady Blen. So the break, we talked about asking for help. Asking for help. There is no shame in asking for help. If you need help, ask for what you need. Like they say, hey, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. And I know you've all heard that. So if you don't ask, don't assume. We won't even talk about that part of it, but you know what I mean. But don't assume that people know what you need. Don't assume that people are thinking that you're okay. They think you're okay if you say you're not. So let's ask for the help that we need. The other thing, and this is my last point that we're going to talk about in terms of tips for caregivers, I want to talk about how others in your circle, how others who are associated with you can support that primary caregiver. A lot of times, the person who needs care, as I said before, they may be a parent, they may be a sibling, they may be someone in your family, and so you have a family, hopefully, support system of people who are willing to help. Again, when you need help, ask for what you need. And so these are some of the things that you can do, that those who are around you can do, and things that you can suggest for them to do to help you as that primary caregiver. Because we know that typically one person takes on most of the caregiving responsibilities, whether it be for a spouse, for a sibling, for parents, whomever it's for. Usually there is one person who is that primary person who takes on all those responsibilities. But your circle, your family, your people can play a role, an important role in supporting the primary caregiver. The first thing that they can do is acknowledgement. And that is acknowledging how important the role is and the physical and emotional effect it can have on that person, on that primary caregiver. Just acknowledging that you're doing a great job, acknowledging that you're taking on those additional responsibilities. Sometimes just acknowledging that we know that you're taking on something. And we know that it can't be easy, but you're doing a good job at it. But acknowledging that acknowledgement can go a long way. Caregiving, we know, can be hard work and it's very demanding. And especially when other people, you have a life. So you have things that you were doing before you took on those responsibilities. And like I said at the top of the hour, there are adjustments that the caregiver has to make, and there are also adjustments that the person who is being cared for has to make. So those adjustments are being made all around. So just acknowledging to that primary caregiver that we see you, we understand that this is a challenge for you, and we thank you. Thank you goes a long way. Thank you for taking on that responsibility. Thank you. Staying in contact with that primary caregiver is also important. So don't let it be that, okay, well, Sally decided that they were going to be the primary caregiver. We all agreed. They've been doing it. Maybe you were checking in with that person every week or every day. Then we know how it happens sometimes. People kind of drop off. It's like, okay, we checked in this week, or I checked in this time. Then those check-ins become few and far and in between. Don't do that. Let's check in and stay in contact with that person, because more than likely, the person that they're taking care of, you have a relationship with that person also. Like I said, whether it be your parents, whether it be your siblings, whether it be a spouse, you still have a relationship with that person. So make sure that you check in with that primary caregiver. It is important to check in with them, sometimes just to say, how are you? How are you feeling? What do you need? Those words can go a very long way, along with acknowledging what that person is doing. You can also offer to stay with the person so the caregiver can have some personal time, or arrange for a regular respite care. And if I'm messing up that pronunciation, you guys forgive me right away, but I'm going to tell you what that means. That is a person who cares for individuals who are ill or disabled, and it allows someone comes in. So they have services like that, where someone can come in, can contact them, and someone can come in and take care of that person while you run around. Maybe you have errands to run. Maybe you just need a break. And it can be for a short period of time. It can be for a longer period of time. But those resources are also available to you, so you should check those out. If you need that, check it out. It's good to take a break. And these people they're qualified to take care of someone. You tell them what your needs are, and they can come in and they can give you a break. Again, the duration, it ranges from a short period of time to maybe even a longer period of time. You can also travel to the person for a few days. Travel. Go see them. If you don't live in the same place they live, let's say you live in another state. Think about that person who's that primary caregiver. Think about giving them a break. Maybe you just come say, hey, I'm going to stay for a couple of weeks. I'm going to stay for a couple of weeks so that I can give you a break on the things that you are doing. And that's another great thing that you can do to support that primary caregiver. Now, it may come to a point where the person that's being taken care of may have to go to a assisted living facility or some other facility, and you need someone to help you coordinate that. So that should not all be on the primary caregiver. It shouldn't be on that person. So whoever is your support circle, include them in making that decision. So that's not something that you are making by yourself. Include them in making that decision, because that also can be very emotional. That can also be very taxing on that person when you have taken care of a person for a period of time, and now you realize, or you come to the realization that you can no longer do this by yourself, that they need more than you can give them. So make sure that you are helping that person. What do they need? Coordinate with them to try to help and to make that decision if it comes down to that. My note for this section: be willing to provide some relief and assistance where needed. Be willing to do that. So I'm going to wrap up. We have about 2 minutes left. And so today we talked about tips for caregivers and taking care of yourself. So caregivers, make sure that you are taking care of yourselves. Make sure that you know your limits. Know what you're willing to do and know what you can do. Know what to do when you're feeling overwhelmed. There are some things that you can do, such as being active, making sure you're eating properly, making sure you're getting the requisite amount of sleep. Scheduling time for yourself is very important. And by all means, keep up with your own health. Keep your doctor's appointments. Take your medication as prescribed. Know when you need help. Know when you need help. When you're feeling exhausted, when you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious, you get angry at things, you're impatient, you have feelings of loneliness, know when you need help. When you start feeling those signs or seeing those signs coming on, ask for the help that you need. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is actually a sign of courage. It's a sign that you are concerned about your well-being. And you know that when you are at your optimal health, when you're taking care of yourself, you are better able to take care of the person that you are responsible for taking care of. You can perform your primary care responsibilities at an optimal level when you take care of yourself. Ask for what you need. Be honest about what you need. Ask for what you need. And I've just talked about how you can support. Make sure that you acknowledge that person and what that person is doing, that caretaker is doing. Make sure you stay in contact with that caretaker, and also make sure that you can do whatever that you can do to give that person a break so that they can rejuvenate themselves and come back and be renewed and start all over again and do what they need to do. I thank you so much for listening. I hope that you got something out of this. I am Lady Bland, and you have been listening to Let's Talk on Intimate Radio.